Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Come to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for June 22nd, 2024, with your host, Peacemaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hello.
It's basically the end of E3 season, I guess. Because we got our last E3 related showcase, and it was the best by country miles. Not just all country mile, country miles.
Country Miles Morales? That's a thought that's in everyone's head now.
What would country Miles Morales be?
Exactly.
Is it just Miles hooked on country music? Or Miles operating out of Texas?
Yes. Because oddly enough, I was actually fixing to say that.
So on that thought, we have the rest of the E3 stuff to talk about, which is the Xbox Showcase, the Ubisoft Forward, and the Nintendo Direct. We're not talking about the Yacht Club's Direct because there was basically nothing there besides teases of things to come and a very, like, an announcement of a thing that I don't understand because they didn't explain it well enough. The Shovel Knight DX release that they're doing, the Shovel Knight Treasure of Hope deluxe release, mind you. I have to specify it that because it's not the other deals, the other expansions. No, it's just regular Shovel of Hope, Shovel Knight. And limited games, because I didn't watch it, and I think the only thing of note that came out of that was, do you remember Gex?
Honestly, kind of, but no.
Okay, they're doing I think it's a remaster of the Gex trilogy. It was one of those 3D mascot platformers, but it was all about the references and stuff. It did not age well in any respect, but they're doing a remaster of the trilogy, or a remake of the trilogy. I'm not sure which at this point. It's one of the two. Which has left everyone baffled, because it's like, why the fuck? Why Gex? Because bear in mind, Square Enix would be publishing that because Square owns Gex. Just to throw that additional tidbit of info out there. Anywho, before we get into any of that, Tommy, what have you been playing the last couple weeks?
Good question. Next question.
I see. So not a whole lot.
Really? Yeah, no.
No. I've been playing the Honkai Star Rail new update that dropped this past week. Specifically, it dropped Tuesday, the same day the Direct dropped, so I had a really good day. But the best part of it, besides the new story quest that ends off the current storyline in Penacony, is the mission you get after it. So, because you and the Astral Express crew saved Penacony and stuff, you have now been given by the government, essentially, who got 30% control of Penacony. You've been given 5% of that 30%. So now the Astral Express owns 5% of Penacony, essentially. Your main character decides that 5% means that they can go to the lobby of the hotel at Penacony and take over the lobby and become the lobby manager. You literally walk up to the lobby manager and go, you're taking the day off. I'm taking over your job. And they just look at you confused like, what do you mean? And you kind of lie and say that you have 50% control of Penacony instead of 5%. And then you proceed to try to take out the self check-in machines, so people have to go to the desk and talk to you. It's the kind of like dumb, funny nonsense that I love about Honkai Star Rail, especially because, you know, it's going to be just a bunch of shenanigans about you checking in people and you running into people, right? That's kind of what you expect this quest to end up being.
Right.
There's a twist. So you check in one of the Galaxy Rangers, who's kind of like this vigilante bounty hunter guy, and the night person you've ran into before. You're extending their stay because the bounty hunter guy is like, by the way, I'm sticking around for a few days because apparently there's a cult in Penacony and I'm here to take it out. And yes, it is a cult. So that's on your mind. And then you check in one of the people that you met in the Lao Fu, who's on the shorter side of things. Because they got a thing saying, hey, come to Penacony, because if you're under this height, you're officially a part of the short club and you get a free stay at Penacony. And so this character took the time off and lied to their boss about where they were going on their time off to go to Penacony. And guess what happened?
What?
It turns out that the short club is the short cult, and she got abducted and almost indoctrinated into the short cult, but we saved her. And the best part is you rope in the bounty hunter and the night person, and they go in and they're like, all right, break it up. Let the person go. We're not dealing with this. The cult leader tries to sick his members on them. And bear in mind, it's a whole bunch of short people. And you have a dialogue option that says, where you tell the short people, even on my knees, I'm taller than you. The people decide to try to attack the other two people, being like, break their knees, break their shins. Guess what the narrative dialogue says?
What?
It says, why are you trying to use a normal type move on a steel type? Because the bounty hunter is a cyborg from like the neck down, and the other guy is a knight in full armor. Congratulations. You've accomplished nothing. And at that point, the cult leader's like, I will get more power from the god of short people if you increase your membership fee. Yes, he does say that he says he is the arbiter for the god of short people. And that's when everyone goes, oh, fuck this asshole. He's scamming us out of money. And that's when the cult leader's like, I'll get you next time, Gadget, and zips out the room. And the knight asks the bounty hunter, like, shouldn't we go stop him? And the bounty hunter's like, it'd be fine. He seems harmless. And that's the end of the quest. This game's not real. I swear it's not real. I don't know how this game is real. This game had a Rickroll joke while you're trying to defuse bombs.
Well, I mean, that's never going to give you up.
I don't understand this game at times where I'm like, this has wonderful characterization and great story and all this stuff, but also, how the fuck are there so many Fate Stay Night references in this goddamn game? I did the quest line for the Match 3 minigame the other day, and in the dialogue, one of the other characters says in reference to you, do you have an anti-Firefly Noble Phantasm? Verbatim. Referring to another character that you're with. I'm like, what? What is this video game? I swear. I love it so much. But also, it makes me question my sanity at times where I'm like, am I really playing this? Especially because apparently the Chinese dialogue is so much more memey and referential than the English translation. And I don't understand how. But yeah, I played that. I got Firefly. So I have Kamen Rider Samus, essentially, is the best way I can describe her. And if you're wondering what her backstory is, she's the clone of the leader of an empire that decided to take on the bug swarm that is the associated with a essentially a Cthulhu-like bug god. And the bugs wiped out the entire planet, and she's the last survivor. And the only reason that the bugs didn't destroy more is because she said, fuck this shit, and blew up the planet by the time everyone else died. Because she was tired of fighting. So yeah, this game is very good. I highly encourage anyone to give it a try. I know gachas aren't everybody's cup of tea, but the gacha thing is not really that big of a deal. And the characters and story and all that more than make up for it. But that's basically it, besides working on the Ace Attorney manual today and finishing up the Garuun helmet for Soto Kamen Rider, and I will try to finish up the Lancer helmet sometime this next week, because I have to finish up the Ace Attorney manual tomorrow for our 6-game randomizer tomorrow. Yay. I guess anything else before we get into the news?
No.
All right then. First up, something from Ubisoft that was not at their presentation. We're getting a Beyond Good and Evil remaster that apparently will include a new mission that connects to that second game that they are still working on several years later and we haven't heard about in those several years. Fucking why did you bother? Why can't it just be a remaster of the game that everyone likes?
Because, I mean, you have to take the Halo approach to it and add little tidbits of lore for the next thing.
That would work if that other game was coming out.
But it will, soon, TM.
No, it won't.
Yeah, well, it's got a release date of soon, TM.
Oh, I forgot. I actually did put this in. My bad. I thought I didn't put this in. But next up, something that was not at the Xbox showcase. So, Matt Booty, who is head of Xbox, has implied that Tango Gameworks' closure may have been due to a change of leadership. To quote this head-ass stupid comment, I won't get into real nitty-gritty details on what went into the decision, mostly out of respect for the people there, just because there was a lot of work that went into delivering Hi-Fi Rush, which was a great game and did well for us. I think the thing to consider is that for us, it's as much as forward-looking situation as much as it is a looking back on one certain game. There are a lot of things that go into the success for a game. What leadership do you have? What creative leadership do you have? Is the team the same team that shipped something successful previously? We have looked at all of these things together and asked ourselves, are we set up for success going forward? Well, there may have been factors or situations that previously led to success. They may not all still be in place as you look at what you're doing going forward. Apparently, this is because of the departure of Shinji Mikami, who was the founder, and also, I believe, had nothing to do with Hi-Fi Rush. That was like the current people at Tango Gameworks that did Hi-Fi Rush. So, more or less, you're making up nonsense to explain why you closed down a studio that made you a whole bunch of money. Because I call foul.
So that sounds about right.
Yeah. You closed down the studio because you could, and you needed money. That's it. Stop trying to make up other excuses. But I guess any other thoughts on those before we get into all of the showcases?
No.
All right, then. First off, the Bethesda showcase, I mean Microsoft showcase,
No, you said it right the first time.
Yeah, so here is a selection of stuff because we're not going to go through everything because I could give a shit about most of the stuff here. More or less. Let's see. We had an Age of Mythologies trailer. Avowed, which is coming out already. That's a COD thing. Doom: The Dark Ages, which is a Doom prequel. Looks cool and fun. We have a chainsaw shield and a skull shredder gun thing. This is like one of the best things they showed off, if I'm being honest. I don't even particularly care that it's a prequel. I'm just like, oh, hey, look, New Doom. And New Doom does cool New Doom things. Like, that's all it needs to do. Any other thoughts on the Doom? Also, you can ride a dragon. And I think control the mech. Yes, you can control the big giant mech that's been in the last game, I think. So yeah, any thoughts on any of that?
Nope.
Fair enough. Fable pretended that it showed gameplay. Moving on. We're getting a Gears of War prequel called Gears of War E-Day. It did not show gameplay because that was a cutscene made by Blur Studios using in-game assets. Any thoughts on either of those?
No.
Fair enough. A new trailer showed off Indiana Jones, the cutscene mostly, and like small tidbits of gameplay after the fact. I swear we've seen more cutscenes from this game than gameplay, and that should be concerning.
Should be, but nah.
At this point, something about this Indiana Jones game makes me go, this is probably not going to turn out well, and I'm going to be very sad if it does. Flight Simulator. Perfect Dark pretended that it was showing gameplay as well, because I don't buy this gameplay. It also looks more like a Deus Ex game than I think Perfect Dark. I don't know. It just looks a little too generic, I guess.
And now you've pissed off an entire fan base. Way to go.
No, I mean this Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark regular, like it has some...
No, you compared this to Deus Ex. And then said too generic.
Oh, I was about to say...
Which is fair. But...
Look, the Deus Ex people are the ones making this. It might not help that it looks generic, because it also might not be actual, like, final gameplay for this, because this has been stuck in development hell for several years now. I don't know, nothing interests me, and I feel like I should be interested in this. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah.
South of Midnight is an action game that looks kind of neat. I dig the aesthetic of this. Unfortunately, they didn't show a whole lot of gameplay, unfortunately. You got one fight and then some traversal. Why do I feel like this game's not coming out anytime soon?
25.
You say this... Supposedly. I
hey,
don't
they
buy
said
that.
25. That means it literally could be the end of next year.
Yeah. State of Decay 3 showed nothing except the CG trailer. Assassin's Creed Shadows showed gameplay stuff. This was also at the Ubisoft Forward. It looks fine. I still don't really have an interest in getting back into Assassin's Creed at all. Atomfall was... I forget what this was. It showed you walking around environments and stuff. Moving on. Oh, this Expedition 33. This is a turn-based RPG. This looks cool. There's only like little snippets of gameplay and stuff, but I really like it. It's really dynamic in terms of like how it's doing like the turn-based RPG stuff. And it also has like timed hits or maybe not timed hits, more like I guess QTE hits and maybe some other like interaction stuff that you do for combat and stuff. This looks cool. This is like one of the best things that actually I believe is going to come out sometime soon. Maybe. That was shown at this showcase. Dragon Age sure looks maybe like Dragon Age. The gameplay was not very good from the showcase that was shown off after the fact. Flintlock comes out July 18th. This looks fine. Of course, it also is actually coming out, but I feel like there's no advertisement on this at all. Punk, what was this? Oh, a card-based hero shooter. Moving on. Life is Strange Double Exposure is a sequel to the original game. Neat. Mecha Break is that cool mecha game that kept popping up during all the E3 showcases and stuff. And this looks cool. This looks fun. This was not exclusive to the Xbox showcase, so you don't get points for it, Microsoft.
Okay, this was cool. This was fun, but this is multiplayer only concept.
Yeah, I think so, which is like probably the only real shame about it. Metal Gear Solid Delta showed cutscenes and gameplay. Cool. Mixtape is a thing. Stalker 2. Winter Burrow looked cute. Like a cute little, kind of like a survival game, kind of. Wu Chang is a Dark Souls like. Diablo 4, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76. Would now hit the stretch of things that I don't care about. Oh yeah, new Xbox X's and S consoles that are way too much. So yeah, that's the Xbox showcase. How did you feel about it?
Moving on.
Fair enough. There's a whole lot here I do not care about, and like maybe two things, maybe.
And by a whole lot, you mean not really anything there.
Yeah. We'll run through the Ubisoft showcase now. Star Wars Outlaws had a big showcase and stuff. It looks fine. I should be more interested in a Star Wars game, especially one that's just like, hey, you get to be a scoundrel and smuggler and get to just go do heists and all that. I'm like, that sounds cool. Ubisoft will probably fuck it up somehow.
I don't know.
Like, I want to wait till this is out and reviews are out for it before I even remotely attempt to put it on my radar, because I don't trust Ubisoft at the moment with this. More Assassin's Creed Shadows. Anon 117 Pax Ramona. I don't remember what the fuck this is. I watched this and I do not remember what this is. And it will not give me the trailer, so we're moving on. Just Dance VR. X Defiant, that Call of Duty competitor. Neat. Division 2 content. That new Avatar game content. Oh god, right. They have new DLC stuff for The Lost Crown, which is the Metroidvania game. And then the Rogue Prince of Persia is going to be launching next year. And it'll have a Temple of Fire update right now because it's in early access. But then they're like, hey, you remember that Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake we're working on? Here's a title card and a small animation. Guess when it's coming out? $2026. Not 2025, 2026. Why? Why? Fucking why? That is over 2 years away, more than likely. Why the fuck did you bother? Like, there is hitting my gripe of announcing your games way too early, and then there's this shit where you literally have nothing to show for yourselves, and you're saying see you in 2 years. Piss off. That upsets me. Unreasonably so. Crew Motorfest updates. Battlecore Arena updates. New Monopoly game. That is basically it. Any thoughts?
No.
Fair enough. Now the thing we're going to spend the rest of the show on, because this was by far the best thing out of the entire month of showcases I had to watch. It's the Nintendo Direct. We kick off with a brand new Mario & Luigi RPG called Brothership. Oh my god, this game looks amazing. Like, they accurately got the style that was the original Mario & Luigi games in 3 dimensions, with all the cool animations and stuff, and all the brother team up attacks, and all the overworld brother moves, and just the look and feel, and has you start off with this, and oh, by the way, it comes out November 4th. This looks so good. Do you have any thoughts on it? I take the silence as a no. Yep, Tommy, you there? Hello? Hello? I don't know if Tommy fell asleep on me or not. I guess I'll just keep talking about stuff. We had NES World Championship Edition. Fairy Tale 2. I'm gonna skip down to some of the stuff I actually cared about. Mio Memories in Orbit. I believe this is a Metroidvania. The article calls it a Metroidvania. I don't think we had an official word on this one. I really like the look of this. It looks cool. It looks like it has some cool movement tech. It has a really nice style to it. I'm on board with this. It also looks like it's doing the Mighty Number 9 thing correctly of being able to dash through enemies. It's nice to see when someone does that correctly. This is an oddball pick from me, but Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. It's all the different Mario sports games, but Looney Tunes characters, essentially, because it's soccer and basketball and tennis. And I'm on board with it because it's just Looney Tunes. It doesn't look the greatest, but I'll take it. Don't think we have a date on that one. A very baffling one. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Have they been sitting on this one for years? Because it feels like they've just been sitting on this one for years for a rainy day. Because we've had Tropical Freeze forever, and it's just like, hey, by the way, here's the original. And I'm like, doesn't feel that different. I don't remember how much of a difference with like original returns and then Tropical Freezes. Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake was announced and shown off, and they also said that a 1 and 2 HD 2D remake is coming next year. This looks cool. This is like what I've kind of been thinking they should do, like the original few the original Final Fantasies in, because you've got the sprite work of the characters and stuff that everyone knows and loves, but you have these really gorgeous looking worlds. Funko Fusion is that dumb, not Lego game using Funko Pops and looks terrible, even on Switch. Oh, Tommy, you there?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on anything before Funko Fusion?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Saving all your thoughts for the thing at the end?
Pretty much.
Okay. Let's see. Another Metal Slug spinoff for some reason. We're getting a new N64 app as a part of Switch Online for mature 17 plus titles for ESRB purposes, I believe, is the reason that it's a separate app. But it has Turok and Perfect Dark. The Turok is kind of weird because we have a remaster of Turok. And apparently Perfect Dark is a little bit unplayable at certain points, so they're not the best ports, unfortunately. But we do get Zero Mission and Link to the Past 4 Swords to do a different version of Link to the Past plus 4 Swords content, and then, hey, the remake of the first Metroid. I'm kind of on board with Phantom Brave. It looks like it's a tactics game, kind of the Skyer related. Something about the scratches my itch, so I'm kind of on board with it. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics broke the FGC as a whole, for good reason, because here's Marvel vs. Capcom 2 plus like 6 other games, but mainly here's Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Also physical releases, I believe, for PS4 and Switch. So you can buy this in it, and even if it gets delisted in several years, you will own a copy of this. So hooray. Super Mario Party Jamboree, new Mario Party, 5 new boards, 2 returning boards. One of them is Western Land from 2, which, fantastic. The other one is the Mario one from Mario Party 1, which, eh. But also 20-player multiplayer. Yeah, it's a 20-player multiplayer mode that looks like it has its own dedicated minigames and dedicated boards, I think. So, and they said that there's other new modes as well, and I'm like, did you just take all the ideas you had for DLC for the previous Mario Party and just go, what if we just made a new game with all that stuff? Because it's what it feels like. And I'm kind of just on board with that idea. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is a new 2D Zelda, or top-down Zelda, mind you, because it's not 2D. It's a top-down Zelda. We're playing as Zelda and her wand of copy things so that she may puzzle platform her way to victory, and she can also copy enemies so she kills. I have seen many of memes already of Zelda copying a chair and then taking it and then crashing it over Ganon's head. I approve. It looks really good. It seems to be like Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds adjacent in terms of all the stuff it's pulling from. But it does have a little bit of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom stuff in it, so for you timeline people, I'm sure this is going to be a nightmare. I'm not sorry. You asked for it.
Fair.
It's just nice that we get to play as Zelda. Just Dance game, the Lego Horizon game, Stray, Tales of the Shire, which is a farming sim, but in Lord of the Rings for some godforsaken reason. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Quick additional notes. Ace Attorney Investigations brings the 2 Miles Edgeworth investigation games to the Switch. That's launching in September. Um, don't really care about the other two. So Metroid Prime 4 exists now. It's real. It's happening. We have gameplay. It's coming out next year. It's might be running on Switch 2, might be Switch 1. I guess this is where we get into your other article.
Yep.
If you want to just talk about it.
I mean, so this one kind of came up as a question that IGN had. They talked to the people at Digital Foundry, and yeah, they're saying that they're thinking this is actually on the Switch. They're saying a lot of the same kind of artifacting stuff, the rendering resolution, and all of that we actually saw in the Prime Remaster.
That was the thought on the 40-minute theory video that got into story stuff. Because it's like, yeah, this looks exactly like the Prime 1 remake we got, basically. So, like, of course it's running on Switch. I think the only thing that's going to happen is you can play this on Switch too, and it will look better. Because it will have more power to pull from.
I think they said that there was no visual... Yeah. Right here, if it were on Switch 2, they'd expect anti-aliasing with DLSS and basically the stuff that we've got rumored already for the Switch 2 specs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's one of those, it's like, yeah. Prime 4 is probably Switch with upscale availability for Switch 2, which then leads me to think we're going to see 3DS, new 3DS mentality. Which would make more sense.
Especially if they're letting things be backwards compatible. Of course, one podcast I was listening to was just like, oh yeah, this game's probably done. Nintendo's just working on the Switch 2 version. Essentially.
I doubt it. I honestly think that this might be something that Nintendo's probably going to try to adopt a little harder than what we saw with the 3DS family.
Yeah.
I think this might be the first time that we see a forward and backwards compatibility Switch and Switch 2 mentality.
Guess that's how they get their 14 million more copies so that the Switch can be...
Well, you think about it. What worked for the 3DS when the new 3DS came out? The fact that developers could still develop for the new hardware and it's still run on the old hardware just at a lower performance availability kind of deal. We also had the 2DS that lacked some of the features of the 3DS. Does that one sound familiar to anyone? Because, you know, Switch Lite lacks the docking and the detachable Joy-Con. It's almost as if the Switch Lite was the 2DS for this generation. Anyone ready for the new Switch? Just saying. And if that's the case, at least the first year, if not the first two, we're not gonna see a whole lot of big swings out of the Switch 2, because it'll all still be playable on the Switch.
I guess I can bounce some story and lore theories that I heard on this one video. See what you think.
Okay.
So what we've got here is a space pirate attack, I guess, led by Silex? That's his name, correct?
I don't know.
Guy from the Hunters games that popped up at like the end of 3 being like, I'm following you, Samus. See you in 6 years. But it's a spaceport attack on like a Federation research facility. And the guy was suggesting that, I guess because you might be able to see it on the consoles from like the Morph Ball segment, that they're researching black holes, which is kind of what is in the Prime 4 logo. Like our current Prime 4 logo, not the previous Prime 4 logo. But they were suggesting that we might be dealing with time travel because of use of black holes. And the guy over Metroid was kind of suggesting maybe wanting to muck with some time-based mechanics a few years ago, but never really got to that. What do you think?
I don't think it's going to be time travel.
I don't think either, but I think it's on the right track for an idea. Because my thought is, you know how in Prime 2 we had Light World, Dark World?
Mm-hmm.
What if we had that idea, but a little bit more real time in your ability to swap between the two?
I don't know, because that feels like that's reusing gimmicks.
Fair. Because otherwise, I'm just like, maybe we're hopscotching planets like 3? Because it's clearly we're starting on an outpost planet, and it seems like the little teaser at the end is something completely different. Or somewhere completely different from where we are for the most of this trailer. So we're at least at 2 different locations. Presumably. That's my thought. I don't know if you have anything else. I take silence as a no.
Yeah, no.
Since we have so little to go off of.
Yeah.
I can say this. This makes me want to sit down with the Prime Remaster copy I have and bang it out. Because might as well. While we wait.
Kind of the same.
While we wait for the 2 and 3 remaster to happen at some point between now and 2025. Early 2025 when this game's probably going to come out, because it will come out alongside a Switch 2. Because that's what this whole trailer really says to me. It's just like, this is the game we're going to bundle with the Switch 2. We're going to associate with Switch 2 heavily, so it's like, hey, you can play this on Switch 1, but the most optimal version of it is on Switch 2. Because they'll even go, here is the Metroid Special Edition of the Switch 2. That might be me reaching, but that's what it feels like. Especially to end it with this and just say next year, because it's like we all know the Switch 2 is coming next year.
Yeah.
I guess anything else?
No.
All right, then. Releases. We'll kick off on the 23rd with Grass Cutting Simulator Lawn Mowing Care for Switch. On the 25th, that Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition for Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Pool Party for PS5 and Switch. I went to this very long 27th list. Payday 3 Chapter 2 Boys in Blue for Series X and PlayStation 5. Hooray, more content for Payday 3. Maybe you can dig itself out of the hole it's in.
Probably not.
Yeah. On the 28th, Dave the Diver Anniversary Edition for Switch. On the 30th, City Skylines 2 for Series X and PlayStation 5. Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection for Series X. Sam Max The Devil's Playhouse Remastered for Series X, PlayStation 4, and Switch. The Lullaby of Life for Xbox Series X and Switch. On July 2nd, Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail expansion for Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5. Several people I follow will be playing the hell out of that. Food Truck Simulator for Switch. Power Wash Simulator. Alice's Adventure Special Pack for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. And Resident Evil 7 Biohazard for iOS. On July 4th, Zenless Zone Zero for PlayStation 5, Android, and iOS. That is Hoyo's new game that is more action-based than turn-based. It looks really good. I can't wait to play that. I've been pre-registered for that for months. And then on the 5th, Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak for PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. That's a little selection. The full list is in our notes. Anything else?
No.
All right, then. So tomorrow, it's a 5 to 6 game multi-world that'll take us a couple streams to do. I say 5 to 6 just in case you don't have one up and running.
Oh, I'll have something.
Oh, okay, so it will be 6 game because I will make sure to get the Ace Attorney one done. Next Thursday, I'm going to continue Chrono Trigger. Next Friday, continuation of that manual?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure because it's like, it should be Sunday, Friday, maybe Sunday for that. Depends how things go next Friday.
Pretty much.
And then next Saturday will be the last 3 episodes of Dyna's On. Because we'll wrap that up. Or last 4 episodes of Dyna's On. Although I said last 3. But yeah, if you like what you see, in folks, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Shipping away that feel like go at TGS Network on Mastodon, social, and at TGS on Twitter. We'll give you updates on life. Exclamation point in Discord and chat. Because this is like, drop by, say hi. See you tomorrow, folks.